live. Okay. Live. There we are. And TikTok. You know it. TikTok. If I provided you guys, the morning market forecast as just a post, with my analysis, and this morning's hot list, would that work for you guys just as much or maybe even more succinctly than the live stream? I've been doing this live stream for 4 years now. I'm just trying to figure out if I could ever get out of it. Marcus is like, no. Kind of like both in case you miss it, but you can always see a post. Anyway, whatever. Okay. You enjoy the live stream. I enjoy the live stream. It's just I never get to really focus on my trades, and just take 4 years of it. So, all right, we're live on TikTok. We're live here. I know you guys. You guys are the ones that It's like when you ask somebody like, should I go live 24 hours a day? And everybody that follows you is going to be like, yeah. No. The point is, obviously you guys are going to say yes. No free soup for you. Yeah. All right. Let's go over to the market anyway. We got 10 minutes here. And let's see. Okay, I see here. I had a little further analysis, and I've got a little bit more to say about it. So it looks like overnight in global markets, we pushed down our markets, prices, values, to yesterday's open. So in other words, all the progress from yesterday just got pushed back all the way back to yesterday's open. 26 hours. So got pushed back to yesterday's open. So it remains to be seen if that's negative or not. Rates are up a little bit more. And that's putting pressure on the growth market, continues to put pressure on the growth market. The way this works, the way this has always worked in the past is eventually, and listen closely, eventually something snaps. So if you are all waiting for a market crash or a market panic, by the way, a market crash isn't necessarily a bear market. A market crash doesn't mean a bear market. So a market crash is one of the most beautiful motherfucking things ever. Because if you buy the bottom of a market crash, you can figure out where that is. They can take 1 week to 4 weeks to a month or two. A month is 4 weeks. Things resume. A market crash doesn't make a bear market. The market crash is simply a big change in a fast amount of time down, right? Then you have market corrections, which take the form of bases like the one we're in now, and then pullbacks and all that. But there's gonna be something that breaks the camel's back here at some point, I think. Maybe not, but there could be. The risks are out there. And that doesn't mean you take puts. I mean, interesting is if you were to buy puts on the market thinking there might be a crash sometime in the next few months, right? So let's say you get a year's worth of puts. By the time a crash happens, the market might have run so much in the opposite direction that you have to get out at crying mercy out of your puts. Or when the market crashes, they simply return back to the level that you bought them at and you were underwater for the whole time. So one of the best ways to play market crashes is not to predict them. It's just to play them. If there's a panic in the market and you don't know why it is, you deserve to fucking quit. Because if there's a panic in the market, before the end of the day, you should know what the hell's going on. Is it what happened? Was it a war? Was it some bad report? Turn on the news, figure out what's going on. And if it sounds like something that's a straw that broke the camel's back, now go for it. But I think that real estate might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it's been that before many times. Real estate is sort of the last thing to snap. And, debt, because there's huge amounts of debt going real estate. More people are more in debt into the real estate that they are in debt to holding than they are credit cards, this is, and companies, so businesses real estate businesses, there's just the real estate is that last thing to go. And we're kind of all just waiting for it. I was watching a TikTok this morning, that might have been last night, about Naples, Florida. Naples, Florida prices are down 25% in 1 year. The time on the market is up 67%. The amount of people buying is down 25%. The number of listings has gone up 50%. I mean, we're talking about massive amounts of supply, lower demand, longer times to get to a sale, raising rates and lowering prices. And Naples was one of the most, inflated real estate pockets in the nation, including Austin, Texas, and a couple other places. Those are the places, where the peaks are the highest. Those are the places that can snap the first. But by the way, check this out. I said this to you guys. RJ might remember these discussions. I said this to you guys many times over the last few years, waiting for these moments. If you put 20% down on a house, but the house value goes down 20%, you now owe the bank another 20% on the current value of the house as collateral. So in other words, if you put $250,000 down on a $1.25 million home in Naples, and it just went down 20, and that was everything you had, right? And it just went down 20% or 25%, whatever it is, to 1 million. You just erased all your money, and you now owe the bank $200,000, just like that. You get a letter. It's not gradual. Hey, you're getting kind of close. You get a fucking letter when it hits a certain threshold, and they're like, you need to shore up $200,000 or we got to sell the house. So this is where foreclosures and auctions start to go up, and you can see that nationwide, but you might see that mostly in those types of areas. So it's kind of happening. It's kind of happening. There's going to be some people, many people, I believe, that were at their limits already, and now they're getting squished. And unfortunate for them, but they probably didn't have good parents. What can I say? Fucking get some fucking guidance. Listen to your goddamn elders, motherfuckers. Where's the hostility coming from? 7 children. Okay? 7 children. That's where it's coming from. Fucking. All right. That's where it's coming from. God, why so much hostility? 7 motherfucking children, and I'm not a Mennonite. Okay, so they're real children, like not. Anyway, I wonder if that was like somebody. I apologize in case this live stream needs an apology to the Mennonites. All right, let's go. SPR is something we're watching. Did I talk about the market? Yeah, I did. I mean, I just think, we don't know which way the market's going to go today. I think it's going to continue to be under pressure. I mean, like, how much pressure can we continue to go under? I mean, if rates keep going up, which they can, it looks like they're kind of breaking out again. Frankly, as I look at the chart, that's like a little straw that breaks another camel's back, So, all right, we've got 1 minute and 30 seconds before the market opens. We're watching SPR. It's kind of hot this morning. And then right at the open, I'm going to look at other stocks that might be high growth stock opportunities, entry opportunities by the end of the day that might be triggering within the first couple minutes of the open. So we'll always keep an eye on that. That's right here. This list right here. The top of the list obviously will be strongest, and we'll want to look at that. NVIDIA, more weakness. Yeah, stay away from NVIDIA for quite a while. And then what is it? MNTS. I don't even know if you're still there, Mr. August, whatever your name is. But here we go. 40 seconds. Justin, good morning. Carl, everybody, Benjamin. Of course, his name had to be Benjamin Johnson. As if it's not funny enough. The discussions that we have about Mr. Didgeridoo. He's also Mr. Johnson, the didgeridoo pipe player. Indeed. I love how you just take those hits. You just let them roll right off you. Well done. Very well done. The best way to respond to a bully is to be a good sport. To say, I love you. Hit me again. Right here. Oh, goodness gracious. What was that? I got an alert here on TTI. We'll check that. All right, SPR. Pow had been what? Pow had been silly. What's Tesla's doing? Yeah, we can keep an eye on Tesla after the earnings. Was the earnings this afternoon or was it this morning? It was this morning. It's dropping. All right, fiber going the other way. That's cool from yesterday. The Qs are, I don't know. We'll see. Let's give it another minute. MTC, CNXA, MTC, top of the, okay, there goes SPR if anybody wants to intraday trade. SPR, that thing's gone crazy. MTC. Oh, wow, this thing has just been flying. MTC, who knows where it goes, but it hasn't consolidated yet. It hasn't had any pullback yet. This is yet another day of up on MTC. If you want MTC, interesting. Not quite the smooth kind of swing trade, but fucking A. So it could be an intraday trade. It could go up, 20% here. CNXA, what's the ADR on it? The ADR is over 20%. So yeah, it could easily go up 20% here. MTC, what I'm talking about. SPR is running. Anybody get that SPR? I'm staying out of it at the moment. Got it. RJ's on it. This is what he lives for. Duolingo. No, that's not top of the list. No, never mind. No trigger on Duolingo, although it's interesting. Top of the list here, 3.6% from the start is SPR. How about that? Let me take a look at the daily chart. I didn't even look at the daily chart on SPR. Yeah, it's hard to say that SPR is a swing trade, but it's triggering the entry systems, that's for sure. SPR. Second to that is SMCI and PDD with a 1% gain. PDD, we got in that the other day. Where is that on my list here? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're up on PDD. The other one was APLS. All right, APLS with 1% gains already. That's not a trigger. PDD, if we look at the daily chart, yeah, nice. We got a reversal on PDD yesterday, and boys, this is a lovely push this morning on PDD. Why are we not seeing more results? I have a very large position in it. Strange, because it's probably because it went down, and now that it's up, it's back where I was. That could definitely be it. Yeah, plus, the live streams do tend to be educational. That's probably another reason why you like the stream. I don't know, Marcus, why each of you tell me why you like the morning stream. Because I'm considering going without it. So please convince me. It's not just that you like it. You got to tell me reasons that cannot be substituted by a non-live streaming. And it can't be threatening. That's okay. Well, if you don't do it, then I'm leaving. No, I know I provide a lot of value, even just typing. Tesla reclaiming. Tesla with a strong reclaim. The market is speaking, and they like the results on Tesla, apparently. Unless that earnings releases after the close, but I'm not sure if I know which it is. Did they release earnings before market, or was it after the close? Or is it going to be after the close? Yeah, there goes Tesla. Remember, TSLL, I think, is the one that has 50% more return. So RJ says, educational. Love hearing your live action thought process. Okay, sure. On decision-making moments. Super instrumental in your growth, for sure. In live, gotcha, during the trading hour. To learn and tighten up my trading. Mostly learning from my mistakes. So you sort of say, what would Evan do? Or, hey, I make mistakes sometimes too, man. But yeah, I guess, it's sort of like, what does Evan do, or what does Evan not do that I do? What does Evan not do that I do? I want to eliminate that. Yeah. 255 almost on Tesla. Tesla looking good. TSLL for 50% further returns. SLNO with 3.3% gains off of the open. Let's see if that constitutes a triggered entry. I mean, it kind of does, but it's too low volume. Too low volume. SPR still looking good, I guess. SYM, we'll have to see how it continues after that little pullback on minute 2 and 3. SYM continuing. All right. I got to watch this position, VERK, that I'm in. What are you doing, VERK? Huh. Interesting. All right. For SLNO SIM, AFRM, we are in that. Is that also doing something? Yeah, it's doing something. Yeah. Yeah, we're seeing some price appreciation there. Wow. I mean, it's not all Tesla related, but Apple and Tesla pushing up the S&P 500 and the Qs and the growth stock, the growth markets right now pretty strongly. I guess that makes sense. I mean, Apple is retail, and retail is stronger than expected. And I suppose Apple being such a global company, it has less risk exposure to U.S. Pressures, such as high lending rates. Also, they have a lot of cash, but they've gotten themselves into a lot of debt ever since what's his name, Mr. Crook, took over. AFRM with a little reversal there. I might go ahead and get out of that then. Yeah, I might have to. Right, FYBR doing good, doing good. I did just drop AFRM. It was iffy to begin with. I don't really love where it was sitting on the chart. There goes MET-C with a little more gains. Remember yesterday that was up a lot. MET-C going more. Hey, been a while. Who's this? ECW Element Line. Been a while. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for saying hello and coming in. Well, Apple and Tesla, I believe, yeah, with some making the high of the day and pulling back a little bit. SMCI, not super good. Let's see. I'm basically watching everything we got in yesterday for follow-through, and we're not getting it on some things, so we need to take that into account here. We are right off of the open, however. Okay, interesting. Okay, getting some follow-through there. All right, TTI keeps triggering. I just want to take a look at that. Nah. I mean, it definitely looks interesting, but yeah. 4% ADR, 18% pullback. Previously did 66% in 24 bars. 141% in 55. Yeah, I mean that's pretty good, but I don't like it here at the breakout. Oh, I see. I had a trigger line there just for this exact moment. I can keep it on watch. SPR sort of failing out now. It's about to break the low of the day, which would be an exit. There, boom. SPR is an exit, and that's a bad taste in your mouth kind of pivot breakdown right there. So it's going to go into spasms here, and then it's going to, maybe it'll reclaim. We'll see, but that was something that a lot of traders will get out because not put a lot of conviction in it any further because, so when that happens, it's not just maybe and maybe it goes back a little bit. It's more, you must now realize the stock is no longer very qualifying for many smart traders. So that decreases the amount of demand on the stock. And now everybody's holding, and it's now under VWAP for the first time this morning. So that means everyone's underwater. And, it just causes the thing to have to go at least sideways for a while. If not, it's the end. And the only kind of re-entry would be some kind of a strong reclaim. And that takes some finesse. And now I would put that upper end of the intermediate level of trading, maybe even just advanced. You have to understand a lot to kind of understand a reclaim. Doesn't seem like it. It's easy to understand when you know everything, when you know a lot, but when you don't, it's not easy to put together. So in other words, smart money's going to stay away from it. Dumb money's not going to know much better. Like, for example, maybe it does turn around and reclaims. It just might not do anything, and it might cause you to get in a second time and then lose money again as it fails. It's just not good. Pivot failure, or pivot breakdown, consider it failure. If something has failed, then it might not do well. You'd have to learn that from experience. Stocks that do well don't fail ever. The right stocks don't fail. Number of failures starting at 1 is an indication that something's not going to make it. It's not, you don't have to have hope. You just fucking get out and try again the next day. It's over. You don't sit there going like, but maybe this, maybe this thing's gonna, it's gonna wiggle. It's gonna start squirming the other direction? Yeah, it might, but it already showed you its cards. And smarter traders aren't interested anymore because it showed them its cards. Only way it becomes interesting again is if it breaks opposite pivots, bullish pivot points to the upside. And even then it might fake out. It's just bad. Gold is moving up. That's an interesting change. While rates are going down slightly, the market going down. All right, that's kind of nonsensical. The VIX is increasing to almost 19. So stuff's not looking great out there. I got to check a couple of things under the hood here. What to do with SMCI? Not looking good. See, it's giving that same failure signal. I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of it. This is what you got to do. You don't wait to find. You don't need to wait to find out. You can get out and wait to find out. Get out and then wait and find out. Don't wait and find out if it's going to get worse. Go ahead and get out. Wait and find out if it gets better. If it doesn't, you're on the sidelines waiting. If it does, you get back in. Or not. It's fucking. It didn't. When things don't do what they should do, and you get out because you wanted to wait and see if things improve, and then they improve, you don't have to get back in. You still have your money. Go find something that doesn't do that. It doesn't fuck you over. Because good stocks don't fuck you over. I mean, they do eventually, but good stocks have enough padding in their profits and the gains that you've gotten that you're not gonna give back everything. Good stocks don't give back everything, and it's not it's not just about the stocks. Obviously, it's people just pitted against each other. They're just arbitrary trading cards that we're passing back and forth between each other. And we're really trading the perceived value of the underlying asset. Ooh, AFRM with a decent reclaim. See, that was one I just got out cautiously. And this is one, let's see. It's an interesting pivot point. I still like where it's at, but I'm going to have to wait until a break of 2060 to get back in on that because I've already seen how it's behaved pretty poorly. CRNX ACMR. Nope. GNE, not GME, GNE. Let's see. Wow, geez, what a move. Genie Energy, mother of Jesus. It moved 43% in 11 bars. Prior to that, it did a 18%. It did a 20% in 19 bars. That's more than 1% per day. The ADR under this 3.4%. Okay, so it looks more impressive than actually it is. But the ADR at 3.4% does meet our minimum. But yeah, we'd be looking for a pullback on this one. I'm going to put it on the hot list. MTRX almost back to entry from yesterday. Yeah, look at that. Hate that. Look at that. Terrible. Definitely getting rid of that for a little bit of a profit. But that signal, yeah, time to get out. MTRX, that was. Put it in my closed folder. And got to take a look at SN. This one, I really love this one. This is a interesting IPO stock that we recently got a nice entry on. Yeah, It's still just doing its thing. Really hasn't picked up enough steam though. CEI position is up 15%. Okay, great. AEO pulling back a little bit. Really like the AEO stock behavior. Beautiful. Got that beautiful multiple sequences of up or down days. Movement, price movement. That's great. That's what we want. Up, and if we're not going up, we're going down. If we're not going down, we're going up. That's what we want. I wish there's a way to measure that. I'd like to find some tool. I'll have to either think of it and then program it, or research that a little bit, see if there's some indicator out there which tells you, is the stock prone to stagnation, or how good it can be. The market pretty much dojied. AFRM hit 2020. Like I said, 2060 is probably where I am interested. We are 18 minutes off of the open. IMVT is up 1.3% off the open. IMVT. Okay. That's not necessarily a signal, but that's a very high ADR stock. Very nice. I probably limited this list to 3.4% ADR minimum. That's probably another filter on there. SPR moved down the ranks. Like I mentioned, that failure really causes what's the word? It's kind of like a blowing out your tire on the road in the middle of the country. When you do something like that, it's a pit stop and can limit your performance. AFRM wants it, but the market's not helping so far. The market, which started out strong there with Tesla and Apple, has not yet been able to make do on that move. In fact, it just a couple minutes ago did a failure retest, which makes it very sensitive to breaking down in a few minutes here. All right, SPR with a little inner pivot shelf break right there. That's a 4-point reclaim reversal over VWAP on SPR, so that can be an entry worth the risk reward right now on SPR. However, you got to be extremely defensive on SPR because someone could just hit the big red punch sell button, waiting for that same, waiting for a pickup in buying pressure to get out. It just might not be enough buying pressure to take it over. And if it breaks down at 2070, if it breaks below 2070, then that becomes a failed breakout, fake out. You see that, RJ and everybody? If you're trying to examine the chart there, SPR 2070 would be a reversed yes. That's kind of like a clever little way to not have to wait to the full risk to stop at the bottom there at 2040. You could already know that would not be correct movement. 2068 or whatever that is, Yeah. If I change that to like a 10-second chart, you can more clearly see those pivot points. Look at that. It's so beautiful. All those little oscillations on the 10-second chart. God, it's gorgeous. That's why I like to look at trading views charts, but trade the first stock commentator. No, I never thought of it that way, Abdul. And coming up from the rear, we've got SPR. Yeah, that's true. Look at this list, right? Look at this change from open, like all qualifying stocks, right? This list right here, change from open. Yesterday, it was like 80% greens and 20% red. Today, it's 50-50. And isn't it interesting that we're basically dojiing on the market itself as well? It's like all picks on average are going nowhere, see? No progress today. Sure, you might be able to single out a winner in here, but because in aggregate everything is going sideways, it doesn't really allow the thing that's doing well to have much conviction. There goes SPR with the failure. See how strong that was too? And then when those pivot breaks happen like that, they are real. Smart money knows that's an important level because it's a pivot breakdown. It would constitute a pivot breakdown. It would constitute a change in that 4-point uptrend. You can't break that level, otherwise it snaps the uptrend. Causes it to be a fake out, which is even worse. And it was already a failed retest neckline breakdown, and we bounced under that level, which turned out to be resistance. Not coincidentally. And so the whole thing is bullshit. It's a short. SPR is a short. Most likely. But I wouldn't short it. Just save your capital, trade another day. Unless you're in high frequency trading, very experienced, multiple years of experience, short trader. That's totally different. And even then, watch your ass short trading. You know that guy, Madaz Money? Madaz, that guy? Madaz trades. Apparently he had a brutal smackdown recently. He was pissed off at all the trolls that were needling him. Oh yeah, that would make you feel terrible. What can you do? But, cry about it, and you don't show the trolls that they win. But he did. He was like, "You trolls are terrible." Yeah. And but the real point I'm making is, he's a multi-million-dollar short trader. And he got his fucking ass handed to you. Every now and then, that's all it takes to ruin what you thought was consistency. I have 25 years under my belt. Madaz has a couple of years. I think he has 3 years under his belt. What the fuck does he know? What has he seen? He's got no experience. He's got that experience, but he has not experienced an 8, 12, 20-year economic cycle, and all that entails in small caps, micros, mids, larges, different asset classes, the whole thing, mixed together economies. And you gotta be careful. Everybody thinks they're on top of the world. Oh, like Ray Dalio said, the minute you start extrapolating your recent performance into the future and go, holy shit, that's when you lose everything. Don't ever, that's a sign, that's a signal. If you go like, wow, if this continues, I'm going to fucking own the world. Trust me, you're not going to own the world. And you're about to get your ass handed to you. And you can't tighten up your wad fast enough in those situations. It's going to hit you harder and faster than you motherfucking believe. So when you do get a signal like that and you start thinking, by the way, here's another rule. Never talk to your spouse about gains or losses, for the matter, until 30 days have gone by. 30-day rule. 30-day spouse rule. Or significant other or whatever. And that also goes with arguments, by the way, as a man. If you have something that's bothering you, and both of you can agree to this, my wife also, she doesn't like to agree to this, but if you have something that bothers your spouse, that bothers you about your spouse, wait 30 days, see if now it's still worth bringing up. 30-day rule. 30-day rule in life for a man is very important. If you can't be stoic enough to wait 30 motherfucking days, then you're a limp piece of shit. If you can't wait 30 days, if you can't hold something in for 30 days, then you're nowhere near a motherfucking Viking. Okay? So forget that. You aren't going to win. You ain't beating anybody if you can't hold something in for 30 days. 30-day rule, guys. And there's many reasons why that's a good rule in trading as well. But the Ray Dalio thing, that's like, it really hits close to the bone. It's when you start extrapolating gains into the future, that's when you're about to get hit big. And everybody does. All the new traders do that. They're like, oh my God, I'm going to be, this is crap. I'm going to quit my job. They quit their job next day. They get slammed like, oh, good Lord. I mean, life is really tough for somebody who's naive. It's, that's why you guys follow me. 25 years experience. I follow other people with more experience to myself. I also follow people who are less experienced to myself. You have something to learn from everybody on both sides. And I forget who said that. It was Chuck Norris or somebody that you should. I forget. There's like a technique or something. I forget what it's called, but it's like either a wrestler or somebody like Chuck Norris said you should have a master and you should be someone's master. You should always at all times, because you can learn from both, and they can both learn from you, and you can teach both, and everybody ends up learning from each other because new ideas come from the bottom, old ideas and wisdom are at the top, and it all mixes together. It can only be one of the healthiest things you can do. Like RJ, you should be teaching like somebody new. You should all, because it helps also firm up what you know. Everybody it needs to have that circle. I forget who said that. It was very wise advice, and exactly how they said it was very sage. Probably a master told them. SPR, what do you guys think? I mean, if it breaks this level here, 2120, then that's one reversal to the upside, but it constitutes 4 points to an uptrend off the bottom over VWAP. Very tricky stock, so it's disqualified. It's sketchy, but it can actually be a trade here if we break 2120 on SPR. We get in your shelf break, and then maybe it runs to 22, and then you would risk that to the bottom here of 2048, which you might as well make 2040. So that'd be 60 cents of risk for $1 of gain. It's not a super duper trade. Paul Tudor Jones, one of the greatest traders of all time, started, trading on the floor and of the New York Stock Exchange, and has so much experience in price action. He's a real trader, swing trader, and cycle trader, so like economic cycle trader, and I believe day trader as well, but I have to double check on that. But he never takes on a trade unless, number one, it looks like a great motherfucking opportunity. Like, in other words, preserve your capital. He says one of the things that's very important. I'm actually getting to another point that's even more important, but one of the things that's very important for him is that he's far less of a risk taker than his billions would make you think. He says that just because it is not true, he says it's not true that in order to have huge wins, you have to take huge risks. Instead, he waits for very special scenarios, which look like absolute great opportunities that have low risk. And he doesn't put his money in anything else. And they should look like the opportunity ought to give a 5-to-1 minimum reward to risk ratio. His minimum to put money on something is that he sees something as a 5-to-1. That's pretty impressive. Like, I stretch down to a 2-to-1, which is really good, but try to attempt to filter everything out to maybe a 3-to-1, you're limiting a lot. But to get all the way to a 4-to-1 or a 5-to-1 as a minimum, wow. I mean, you're basically sitting in cash all the time, waiting for the right opportunity. And he says that, the risk side for him is very low. If it doesn't look like it's if it looks like it's not going to be much risk, then maybe it qualifies. If it's got any risk, he's just not interested. It should have just no risk. Very interesting. Go look up Paul Tudor Jones. Watch some interviews. You'll probably end up crossing some of the things that I just said. Wow, the market now dumping. The market dumping. So watch your positions. I gotta watch mine. QQQ. Growth market kind of holding, but the S&P 500 dropping. Industrials are dropping. Why is that? And financials. That's very strange. And gold moving up. There's a lot of strange movement today that needs to be deciphered and talked about and sussed out. But all right, I'm going to go have some breakfast. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you learned something. Later. Was that the devil signal? Fucking, what did I just do? Here, let's just do this.